We're going to be comparing decimals in this. We will do greater than, less than, equal to. We will do least to greatest, greatest to least, converting from fractions to decimals using all those tools to do it. We will also include a place value chart to help us compare and order these things correctly. Let's get to it. Alright, we have a problem here that was set up for fractions comparison, but we're going to use it in decimals. We're going to compare decimals here. 77 repeated, 6/9, and 7/18. Okay, so let's convert them all to decimals so we can have the same numbers. Let's see. Let's go with our 6/9. Start with that. It's going to be a 6 times 9 is 54. We're going to end up with the same number over and over again. So it's going to be 6, 6 repeated. Nothing's going to change that cycle. It's always going to be 54. So we have 7, 7 repeated, decimal 66 repeated, and 7/18. Let's go ahead and do that one. 18, 7. So that is 3. That equals 54. 3 times 18, 54. So we're going to get 16 there. 160 is an 8. We get 144, 8 times 18. And then it looks like we're going to get that 8 repeated. Okay, so now we have decimal 38 and the 8 is repeated. So now we have our numbers. Let's go ahead and move over to our decimal chart, or place value chart rather. So here we have our decimal. Decimal in the center goes down all the way. So our first one was 77, and that's repeated. I'll put the line over there. We had 66 repeated. And then we had a 38, and the 8 is repeated. Sorry, my numbers aren't staying in the box, but we can see them here. And then, so our decimals here in the center on those. Okay, so comparing them. I didn't say we're going least to greatest, greatest to least. So let's go least to greatest, which it's already set in. Least to greatest. When I do these in the number line, or either the number line or the place value chart, I just mark them. So least is 1, next is 2, next is 3, just like that. Okay, so least to greatest. For greatest to least, we'll go purple there and be 1, 2, 3. That's that. Alright, so there's no conversion here. We're just going to compare these decimals. We have 375 thousandths. We have negative 37 hundredths and a positive 37 hundredths. Okay, so we're going to go least to greatest. Let's just move over to our chart now that we have our numbers. Okay, so we want to look at all of our numbers here. We know where we're going. Our decimal's in the middle. So let's set it up. I'm going to move to the smaller size here. So we have 375 thousandths, a negative 37 hundredths, and a positive 37 hundredths. Okay, and again, as usual, I just want to compare them, and in comparing them, I will just write the number next to them in which order it is, least to greatest. So we have one negative, so we know that is the least value for sure. Okay, so the importance of this place value chart is to show we can compare the numbers, so we can go through it. We can cross this guy out because we already know it's number 1. It's the only negative here. So we're done with that. Alright, so now let's look at each place value. We have a 3 and a 3. Those are the same. Okay, we move on to the next place value. We have a 7 and a 7. Those are the same. Now we're going least to greatest. Okay, so here, this one is empty, so it's a lower number. This one is a greater number because there's more there. Okay, so this is number 2. That leaves us with 3. So our least value is negative 37 hundredths. Next least is 37 hundredths. And then final greatest is 375 thousandths. Okay? Simple as that. Alright, we have a decimal here. We're going to revisit our repeated bars. So we have a 38 with just the 8 repeated, and then we'll look at a 38 with the whole thing repeated. So which one's greater then? Well, I'm going to show you here because it will not allow me to go back to the slide, and then I'll give you the reasoning. The answer is 38 hundredths, the 8 repeated, is greater than 38 hundredths repeated. Both numbers. Okay? Let's check it out here. Decimal 38, so 38 hundredths there, 38 hundredths here. Top one is our single bar, so this is what this looks like. Okay, the bottom one is full bar, so that means those two numbers are going to repeat over and over again. So you can see our comparison here. Those are the same, that's the same, that's not. So this one is where we find our greater than up here. So we have greater than up there. So that's the visualization on the chart. That's why these place value charts are very helpful in comparing numbers, and whether it's fractions converted to decimals or whatever, use a chart that's simple and makes it easier to see and verify.